Hello everyone, it is the Storming Dragon back with another Stormy Speed Draws, number 6. So for a few of these episodes of the Speed Draws, based on popular demand, I will be talking about some of my werewolf characters from my story, Creatures of the Night, which all content, stories, and characters are owned by me, so no touchy. So first I want to explain to you all that this story has been under development for years, and has multiple different versions of it, but now I have just recently reached a finalized version of the story. It went from the Dawn ones, which were werewolves placed in medieval time, to anthropomorphic animals as a mystery story, to being their own species called the Aryas, and finally setting on the modern day werewolf story, which is what we have now. I have attempted to tell the story multiple times, and still plan to do so in the future, either as a novel or a comic, but not for now, and for those who are curious, the reason is simple. The story is way too dark for me. So Foxcars has a lot of death, yes, and it does have some pretty dark themes, and in all honesty, I don't want to do so many dark stories all at once. It gets draining and depressing to me. I actually want to do some light-hearted series after Foxcars. The other series will have some dark elements and moments, yeah, that's just how stories are. But nothing as dark or gruesome as Foxcars and Creatures of the Night, which is way darker than Foxcars. So long story short, I will need a break before jumping back at super dark stories again. So in the meantime, I thought it would be fun for everyone to tell you guys about the backstories of the characters that will be featuring and starring in Creatures of the Night. This doesn't necessarily spoil anything because the main point of the story will be the characters confronting their past, but it might ruin some surprises and holy crap moments. So I'm going to give a spoiler warning now, so you can leave if you wish. Also, this will help show you guys just exactly how dark this story gets and can get. Anyways, jumping right ahead to give you guys some idea of what the story is about. Creatures of the Night is a supernatural romance story, and the summary to it will be: after a horrible car accident, 16-year-old Arya finds herself living with a pack of werewolves as they protect her from a witch named Cathleen Salem, who is determined to hunt Arya down so she may use her to put an end to all humanity. So as you can assume, these videos will be talking about the werewolf pack, Arya and Salem, with their pasts and with their motives. If you are wanting to see the main story, you can actually see the first 2 episodes of the official story on Webtoons. The link is in the description for you guys. However, these episodes are just the pilots, and a new episode won't be published for a while, as I have previously explained. The episodes currently out will probably help you guys get caught up to speed, so you aren't jumping into this story completely headfirst. But enough about that. For the rest of this video, we are going to talk about our main character, our girl, Aria Luna. Woohoo! That is a great name. Before we go into her backstory, I just want to say that her cat's name is Gecko, like the lizard, and he's a very spoiled, chubby house cat, and he deserves it and the world, because he is nothing but a lovable cuddle bug. Gecko's design is by Isert Feyre, and Arya's wolf design is by Chulk. And you can find the links to their channel in the description below. Okay, with that out of the way, let's move on to Arya. Aria Luna is a 16-year-old average high school student. There isn't really anything different or special about her besides her gray eyes. She is pretty shy and is a natural loner and would prefer to keep to herself if it is possible. However, she did have a friend group in freshman year. Hazel Conley was the ringleader of this 5-girl friend group and was considered Arya's best friend. Over time, Arya soon realized that the people she was hanging out with weren't the best crowd. Despite this, she would tag along with them and stay quiet and nod to her friends' actions, not wanting to be abandoned by them. The girls would all follow the lead of Hazel like they didn't have a mind of their own. They would bully and gossip about others, even spreading hurtful and destructive rumors about students. Hazel would also talk badly about the other girls in the group to Arya behind their back. Everyone in the school feared and hated the group, and everyone that was a part of it, including Arya. It wasn't until Arya got peer pressured into leaving the theater club when she soon started to want out of the friend group. Arya tried to keep her distance from the friend group, but it didn't work, and when it got obvious to the girls she was trying to avoid them, they started to verbally abuse her and gaslight her. They would gossip and cut her down to her face. Arya, having had enough, spoke up and confronted them about what they were doing and what they had been doing was wrong and that she wanted no part of it ever again. With their prides hurt, the group went around spreading awful rumors about Arya throughout the school. And by later sophomore year, the entire school was against her and she became directly bullied by students who weren't even in the friend group. She would get awful texts from people telling her things that I'm not going to say. To wrap things up, it got bad and she turned into everyone's verbal punching bag. One day, Arya got cornered by Hazel and the rest of the girls in the bathroom. They started to verbally attack her and then started to physically harm her. When Arya tried to get away, they would hold her there. Arya foresaw how the situation was going to go and started to fight back, which caught them all off guard, finally having enough of all the harassment. One of the girls had left and got a teacher who stopped the fight, and it was Arya who had gotten into trouble because the teacher walked into seeing her on top of Hazel beating her face. And all the other girls involved said that she attacked first. Arya was sent to the principal's office. Despite all the time this bullying was going on, Arya had kept it a secret from her parents, not wanting to bother them even though she knew they would have come to her aid. The school called Arya's mother after the fight and told her what had happened. Neither Arya's mother or father could pick her up because they had work until later that night. Okay, at this point, I would like to get a little sidetrack and mention that recently in this world and universe, there has been a bunch of animal attacks where people have been murdered and eaten by giant bears or wolves. The authorities haven't really been able to figure out what animal is exactly attacking. For about 8 years, people have been getting abducted more numerously to the point where it has become a nationwide problem, and everyone is invited to not go walking alone without at least 4 others with them, and the federal government has suggested no one to go out past nightfall. No one knows why these abductions are increasing every year. All they know is that the people who do return are very few and can't remember anything from the time they were with their captors. Some of the victims have been known to feel immense pain throughout their whole body, go insane, or take their own life. Okay, with this information out there, let's finish up Arya's backstory. With all the animal attacks and people's disappearances, the school justifiably kept Arya until her mother came to pick her up, which was at like 7:40ish at night. Arya was worried about the animal attacks, but Arya's mother was so angry with her that she didn't care and said that they would be fine as long as they stayed in the car. If you read the comics, you will be able to see how well the story went from here, and because from this point on, the story transfers into the main one. So we will be stopping here for Arya's past. On the surface, Arya's story doesn't seem all that dark and twisted compared to the other characters' past. However, I think that this story is most horrible and messed up because these situations don't just happen in fake fantasy stories. This happens in real life with real high school students. So please stop bullying, and if you see bullying happen, step up. Be the one who breaks the status quo. Alright, that is it for this edition of Stormy Speed Draws. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and if you guys would love to hear more about the story in the world. Anyways, I love you all, but not in a weird way.